Mark Zuckerberg was the 6th richest person in the world just 1 year ago. Now, he's dropped to number 25, losing $79 billion thanks to Meta's stock price tanking. Mark Zuckerberg's empire is collapsing all around him. To illustrate the extent of this disaster, it is important to realize that Meta was in the top 5 most valuable US companies in 2021. Now they've slumped below number 20, worth even less than Home Depot. This disastrous fall from grace has coincided with Zuckerberg's truly dark character finally being fully revealed to the public. As panic is kicked in for the billionaire, his true colours are being prominently displayed for the world to see. While he's now an internet joke for being reptilian-like, inhuman, cold and conniving, remember that it wasn't always this way. Mark's public image for most of the 2010s was that of an awkward boy genius. He was flaunted on every magazine, paraded as an inspiring hero who helped the world connect through social media and praised for his ingenuity. But now we see Zuckerberg in a different light. His personality behind closed doors has been revealed. His illegal and unethical actions are on full display, and his true character is now known. A man who will stop at nothing to achieve total control. His downfall is here. But what went wrong for Zuckerberg? The metaverse has shattered any illusion of Zuckerberg's brilliance. While disaster has been long coming, there's nothing that better encapsulates Mark's fall than Meta's foray into the metaverse, which has been nothing short of an embarrassing disaster for the once dominant company. Yes, you've seen the cringy avatars, as well as the full displays of Mark's awkwardness as he tries to sell users on this new universe. It's been a spectacle for everybody on the internet, as memes have mass circulated about the out-of-touch approach to a digital world. But not only does Horizon Worlds look disastrous, behind the scenes it's truly been a depressing catastrophe for the company. Horizon Worlds, the metaverse project that Meta is spending copious amounts of money on funding, has underdelivered on all expectations. The digital universe aimed to have 500,000 monthly active users by the end of 2022. How's it doing now? Even the most generous estimates have current active users at 200,000. This is over 50% less than anticipated. Worst of all, Mark Zuckerberg's investments into the metaverse have caused the company to report further declining income in every quarter of 2022. Nonetheless, he's refused to stop. It's been such a disaster that even Meta employees who are encouraged to use the game have stopped logging in altogether. This means that even the employees who are supposed to co-sign the product know that it's an unnecessary, misguided mess. Horizon Worlds has been endlessly mocked and ridiculed online, and it's all for good reason. Firstly, Horizon Worlds is riddled with bugs that make it almost completely unusable to the very few people who are trying to explore this metaverse. Secondly, all articles and YouTube channels that explore Horizon Worlds will surface one clear theme about the few players left. It's all children, ones who somehow got access to a VR headset. The hilarious irony is that this has been sold to the public as a new universe for those of all ages and interests. Workers, concert goers, surfers, you name it. But predictably to anyone who understands this space, children are the only ones intrigued, and even they're leaving it for better VR games. Users of past metaverse projects have come out to share their confusion and disappointment with Horizon Worlds. You might be thinking, Meta is a large company, they can afford to have some hiccups or a little fluke. You would be wrong. Even with the size and scale of Meta, they've been spending insane numbers that have rightfully scared investors. Meta has consistently been investing $10 billion to $15 billion per year into their metaverse project. This is an unheard of amount of money for a project and space that's so theoretical. Even when you look at the costs and investments of any other tech company in a new space, this is an absurdly large investment. But it's even more jarring when you take into account that this investment is based on a random bet about our future. Silicon Valley is known for hemorrhaging money, but this project has taken it to an entirely new level. Still, Mark seems adamant to want to push through. Zuckerberg has said it would be a mistake for us to not focus on any of these areas that will be fundamentally important to our future. But again, his future has thus far been in his imagination. It's become clear from users they're not interested in his future. His overconfidence in a project that is failing this disastrously has real consequences. In November of 2022, Meta had to lay off 11,000 employees, which is 13% of their workforce. Simultaneously, their share prices fell to the lowest levels in 6 years, with a plunge of 61.6% from the start of 2022. Meta had proclaimed that Horizon Worlds would be the new breeding ground for ideas, adventures, day-to-day interactions and more. However, think about the popularity of worlds like Roblox and Minecraft. It's based around creativity and building. The metaverse is billed as a place to have bizarre recreational activities and meetings with unappealing avatars. While this disaster has meant serious consequences for individuals and the company at large, there's no sign of Zuckerberg pumping the brakes. By all internal accounts, this is still the area they plan to heavily invest in. But why does Mark Zuckerberg care so much about the metaverse? With billions of dollars in losses, it is hard to find a rational reason to continue this endeavor. Well, this is where the dark intentions of Zuckerberg come to light. Zuckerberg wants to own the entire ecosystem. Being reliant on other ecosystems, such as that of Apple, has resulted in huge losses for the company. Apple providing users with the option to turn off data stalking from Meta products resulted in a $10 billion hit to Meta's advertising revenue. Mark Zuckerberg has demonstrated throughout his career of deeply troubling anti-competitive practices that he has one motivation: control. Mark's pursuit of total unchecked power and control means stopping at nothing in order to steamroll competition, even if it veers into blatantly illegal territory. In the summer of 2014, Facebook was already gaining popularity. It had amassed over 250,000 users by the end of August and would reach 1 million users in the fall. But in the middle of all this success, the founders of a rival social media platform, ConnectU, came forward and accused Zuckerberg of stealing their ideas and hacking their platform. It wasn't until 2008 that a settlement would be reached, with the ConnectU founders reportedly receiving $65 million. This was one of the first instances of Zuckerberg's truly cold and calculating nature revealing itself. And if you think that this settlement acted as a lesson for Zuckerberg, you would be mistaken. Instead, a different, more nefarious mindset kicked in. A slap on the wrist is worthwhile if it means steamrolling a competitor. Is Mark a genius, or has his success come from these intimidation tactics? Zuckerberg is known to go into what confidants have described as destroy mode. This is where Zuckerberg begins to feel threatened by a competitor, so much so that he will stop at nothing to annihilate them, even if it means taking action through coercion and threats that blatantly break antitrust laws. Yes, this may sound standard for the ruthless world of Silicon Valley. Billionaires aren't necessarily known for playing nice, but with Zuckerberg it's different. He has no qualms about using any means necessary to ensure his position at the top is secure. This even means veering into areas that are explicitly illegal. For example, was Facebook's acquisition of Instagram what it seemed on the surface? The public optics was that of a great triumph. Instagram was perceived as an up-and-coming social media platform that cultivated a cool, hipster reputation from millennials. Instagram was a calm, more simplistic experience in an ever-crowded digital world. Undeniably, it was starting to steal some of Facebook's thunder with the younger demo. But still, when Facebook acquired Instagram for $1 billion in 2012, it was celebrated. The public optics were that of a glorious partnership that would benefit social media users across the globe. It wasn't until years later that the truth of the acquisition, acquired through leaked emails, surfaced in a Senate hearing. The emails revealed how Zuckerberg pushed for the acquisition in order to prevent competition and retain total and complete control of social media. In another leaked email, Instagram's co-founder Kevin Systrom sought advice. Will he go into destruction mode if I say no? Probably. Actions like this made it all too obvious. Mark's intention is, and always has been, to completely monopolize social media and online communication. It was so bad that the Federal Trade Commission brought him to court for his undeniable history of illegal, anti-competitive practices. He wasn't playing by the rules and had no interest in doing so. As should be expected with the US government going head-to-head with big tech, all of the FTC's lawsuits ultimately resulted in nothing. Every time Meta had to explain their illegal actions, it's resulted in embarrassing Senate hearings or settlements that brush the entire debacle completely under the rug. This has reinforced a pattern for Zuckerberg: fight for complete and utter control, even if you break all laws around monopolization. You'll get nothing more than a slap on the wrist. Zuckerberg will not allow competitors to play in the playground that he is playing in. He is the bully that will break all laws in an attempt to stop those who have the misfortune of coming into his orbit. But this is nothing compared to Zuckerberg's new intentions. He does not want to be a player in the playground. He wants to own the playground and have everybody play by his rules and be under his control. Can we trust Zuckerberg? If Zuck were to succeed in his pursuit for complete control, you should be scared. One thing has been made abundantly clear with Zuckerberg's history and the way he operates Meta. The user's safety and comfortability is not a concern. The number one priority will always be complete ownership. Zuckerberg's track record of completely mishandling and nefariously leveraging his control of user data fully speaks for itself. A 2004 exchange between Zuckerberg and a colleague says it all. I have over 4,000 emails, pictures, addresses, SNS. What? How'd you manage that one? People just submitted it. I don't know why. They trust me, dumb. This simple conversation reveals the dehumanization that goes on in Zuckerberg's mind. To him, people were nothing more than numbers on a screen that he could manipulate and control to his own benefit. However, it wasn't enough for him to just have someone's email, pictures, address, or even social security number. And this is where Zuckerberg strayed off the path of morality and legality in the pursuits of profit and control. You see, Zuckerberg realized that by collecting user data, he could use it to not only optimize his algorithms to keep people on his platform longer, but he could also package and sell that user data to advertisers. This is how the company makes the overwhelming majority of their revenue. Advertisements. While Meta wants you to believe that user data is essential so small businesses can find customers on the platform, this is hardly the reality of what's happening. Meta uses your information as a bargaining chip. You are the product, and a product that they don't mind using in any unethical way they please. Leaked company documents show how Facebook gave Amazon special access to user data thanks to a unique partnership between the two companies. While it's not uncommon for companies to share data, Facebook has uniquely sensitive data that most companies don't possess about their users due to the personal nature of the platform. And this is just one example of carelessly mishandling user data. Even the co-founder of WhatsApp, who had sold his company to Meta for $19 billion, tweeted #DeleteFacebook after their infamous Cambridge Analytica scandal, where millions of users' information was collected without their consent. Zuckerberg was in full knowledge of this information, that his very own product was illegally collecting sensitive user data and using it for personal gain. But intervening would have come at the expense of profits and the market share held by Facebook. This has resulted in Meta settling for $725 million just last week. And that's not the only settlement in January of 2023. On January 4th, Meta was fined $419 million for breaking EU data rules, as they had sneakily forced users to consent to their data being used for targeted ads by placing a deceptive clause in the terms of service update. But despite Zuckerberg's best attempts, all the wrongdoings of Facebook came to light, and the world was furious. The negative press became so bad that Zuckerberg decided to rebrand Facebook into Meta in an attempt to shift focus from their crimes to a flashy new virtual world, declining rapidly. Not to mention, Zuckerberg's stranglehold on global social media is loosening by the day. Despite being riddled in controversies, there was one thing Meta has always been able to lean on: having the most popular social media platform amongst young people in Instagram. However, the past 3 years has brought a major thorn in the side of Zuckerberg: TikTok. All reports show that teens are spending more and more time on TikTok. It's growing to be a top platform for this key demo, representing dwindling power and control for Zuckerberg. Worst of all, Meta as a company has initiated the world's worst response to a competitive platform. True to character, Zuckerberg has gone into full destroy mode with TikTok, with attempts to copy the app nearly one for one, with replicated product features and layouts. The copying got so bad that a petition for Save Instagram reached 275,000 signatures, causing Instagram to take a step back in an attempt to desperately save face. Instagram's short-form TikTok copy, Reels, has also failed to gain anywhere near the level of success that the company needs. Users are spending less than 1/10 of the amount of time that an average user of TikTok spends on the app. And leaked internal documents show that 1/3 of Instagram Reels are re-uploaded TikToks. Zuckerberg has every reason to be panicked. Meta's revenue at the end of 2022 was in decline year over year. All of this can be linked back to poor leadership, bad decisions, and ineffective strategies to combat a competitive platform. A panicked Zuckerberg means that he goes into full destroy mode, leading him to hire a GOP consulting firm to malign TikTok as a danger to US children. The leaked documents show discussions around such headlines as "From dances to danger, how TikTok has become the most harmful social media space for kids." Zuckerberg is now in complete panic mode, knowing that everything he's built is crumbling around him. However, there's only one person to ultimately blame: himself.